Alright. Cool. Hello, up there. Do some more. Right, so we left off overworld map. Actually, I'm gonna do locations next, because locations should be easier than overworld map. I tried figuring out what causes this to auto sort, and I think I found it, but it didn't fix anything. But I did learn that you can now recolor groups, so I guess that's kind of cool. I don't know if I'd want to use that, but it's down here. I guess I'll turn that off. It's kind of weird. Anyway, rooms. So what we want to do is just make, we want to rename these rooms and stuff. So this is our first room, and this one should be 1920, wait, no, 5, 10, 80, oh wait, ah, crap, I should have remembered what it was at. Whatever, 1080, it was double 1080, right? I think so. Alright, first we're going to do this. Take this player, move him back up onto the screen. These are turtles, get rid of the turtles. Okay, this is a basic room, and I'm going to rename this room. This is going to be Shallows. Right, so this is the location. The Shallows is up here. The other ones we need to make are the sea, deep sea, coral, shipwreckage, oil spill, meteor landing. So I'm gonna do that. Let's go ahead and duplicate this. And then next one will be, what was it, C? So C will be like this. It's just a copy of what we had, only this one's gonna be twice as big, which was 2160. There we go. So the sea is twice as big. So the idea is when you go to the Shallows, the camera shouldn't be moving around because it's just the one screen. When you go to the sea, it'll be twice as much room. And then finally the deep sea will be 3 times as big. And I'm planning on making the bottom of the deep sea get incredibly dark. And you'll have a flashlight that upgrades. For this one, what's probably do this in my head, but whatever. 2160 plus 1080, right? Yeah. 3240. That's 3 times as big. And then I'm thinking for I think the alien fish one or the meteor landing is going to be twice as big, but everything else should use normal sea, I think. Corals might be shallow. Does that make sense? So, yeah, I guess corals is like a copy of Shallows, only it's got coral in it. So we'll go ahead and duplicate this. Do coral. Duplicate C. And do like oil spill, shipwreckage, I'm thinking the oil spill and the shipwreckage are just like a unique location you can go to, while Shallows, the sea, the deep sea are more like just usual locations. there'll probably be a spot on the map that you can go to those other ones. That's kind of what I was thinking. Alright, let's see. We still need meteor landing, and that's it. So I want deep sea, duplicate. Oh, I can't use spaces. And this one, I don't know if I'll do this or not, but we might as well test it out. If I double this, which is, you know, I'm not going to try 19, 20 times 2, 3840. So that should be a nice double. I'm thinking the meteor will be like right in the center of the screen, and you can like go around it. Fight it's like lots of room to fight the alien boss in the biggest zone sort of thing. Little home screen. I think that denotes what's the first screen instead of it being the top one. What I'm guessing. If I go ahead and practice, I bet it'll bring up the Shallows map. Yeah, it did. Wait, actually I don't know for sure. Yes, it did. How do I change that if I want to go here? I don't know. Do I have to click here? Room order. Okay. Now I can test this one. Okay, so now we're in the big one. Which I do have to keep in mind. Well, no, this is based off of the screen, so it's fine. I want to make sure all my monsters work here. They should, because I've used room width and room height a bunch of times. It'll be hard finding them because it's such a big map now. But the shark will always come to me. Oh yeah, I never set up loot for all the other guys. Go find that crab. There he is. I'm not shooting. Oh, I'm not shooting because it's still on screen. I need to make sure the bullets are based on the viewport and not the room. I didn't think about that until now because this is the only time it would matter. Okay, let's go test that then. So instead of room width, I want something based off of the view width, or where the view is. So it would have to be based off of where the camera is, which is not as easy to do. Alright, so where's the camera at if it was here? It's like full camera, X minus Okay, so the camera should be in the middle. That 1920 by 2, 960. Right, so minus 960 or plus 960, it destroys itself. So it'll be based off the camera. I can test that real quick. So it should destroy itself as soon as it's off screen. But if I go chasing a bullet, it seems to be working just like I think it would. Except for here, I think. Oh, here it's getting destroyed because I left that other bit of code in, yeah. So it's one or the other. Okay, so that fixes it. The edge of the screen also counts. But if it goes off here, then that's fine too. Oh no, because it's based off of where the camera is. The camera's still here. So this is still 960 or whatever. Let's make it... We can get rid of this. We'll be able to. I'm just gonna comment it out. Let's make it a 70 instead, so you have an extra 10, or, you know, make it an extra 5 pixels so it goes off the screen a bit. I guess 70 was fine. It's only gonna make a little difference. But that way the bullet doesn't delete at the end of the screen, but just a little bit past it. Okay, I think that works. Okay, so that's that. We've got the different locations. We'll have to come up with like certain things for this. I need to make walls that block bullets and block the character. Something for the coral. So the idea with the coral is it's got like little bits of coral or whatever sticking up or on the walls that stop bullets, make it a little bit harder and a little more challenging. So I need something that represents that. Guess I'll just call it a wall. All this should really do is stop the player from moving through it. Oh wait, that's colliding with a bullet. That's not right. If it collides with the wall, the bullet will destroy itself. Pretty simple. And then, yeah, that'll be fine. We gotta get the O player to interact with walls. Which is do this. It's if does it instance exist? No, it's point collision. Huh. What was point collision? Collision point. Okay. If collision point x, y, a wall. So this is, okay, x, y minus speed, wall. I don't remember these other two. URC and not me. I think it's like true true or something. Whether the check is based off of precise collisions. I guess true. Calling instance is relevant. I guess true. Try true, true. So this is going to say if there's no wall at y minus speed, then you can do y minus equals speed. If there is, then don't do anything. Okay, that should be how I do this. We can try it. So this would put it if I'm going to the right. We'll just test it to the right first, and then apply that to every direction. Right. Yeah, we're in the coral, so let's set this one to be the topmost. And then I'm gonna put a wall here. Go ahead and test. So this wall should stop bullets, and we shouldn't be able to move through it if we're going in this direction. So that seems to work. Okay, that didn't work though. So I did not do it right. I think this not collision doesn't work. Just try this. Oh, this is why it wouldn't work even if it did work. I need to do this on the X if I'm going to test it. Well, maybe that did work and I just did that wrong. Okay, point collision, X minus speed. Okay, that does work, but the point collision, of course, is not based off of my big hitbox, so we can kind of move into it a little. Which, I wonder if I want to allow that or not. Whatever I do, I gotta remember that the wall needs to go underneath the depth of our player. But it does work. I don't know if I want to put that on loot or not. For now, let's just go ahead and set it up like this. Because this does work. Okay, so this should stop me from walking or going into a coral. It's just based off of that little hitbox that we had, and not the big one. But it does work in a way. So I can make some random like corals in this kind of area, so it's something you can't really shoot through, which will make these areas just a little bit more dangerous. You can't shoot through them, you can't move through them. Well, that works fine enough. And I can use this wall to draw like when I do my shipwreck, I can draw the walls of the shipwreck, put it behind, and it'll still work the way. Anything that I don't want to collide with, it'll be a wall. Alright. That works fine. What I could do is just go here. Depth minus equals 1. That way the depth always goes. I think that goes forward though. No, that works. So now the wall's behind. Let's make it minus equals 10. I could set up depth and stuff through this, but it's just easier if I set it up here. That way I can just drop stuff in the instances. For a simple game like this. That way I don't have to copy this instance stuff and change the depth for every single room. It'll just automatically do it in the creation code of this. Should be fine. Okay, so that's really all I needed with those rooms, right? Like, the shipwreck is just an area with walls in it and sharks. Now, we'll have to set up something that spawns the different enemies and whatnot. I think I'll do that a bit later. Let's go ahead and work on the overworld map now. Yeah. So overworld map, we're going to need a new room. Actually, I should really just copy one of these rooms. It's the correct size. I think, how big do I want the overworld map to be? Do I want it to be like one screen or a screen that scrolls? I think I will do, I'm going to duplicate this one. I think I do want a big one that scrolls. World map. Let's open this. So we're just going to lower this down to 2160. Now it's just a 2x2. I think that should be a good size for a world map. It might be a little big, but whatever. We'll figure that out later. So that's the world map. We can get rid of the player and the camera. And then we're we're going to create some new stuff for the world map. And go ahead and set this to the new start. Alright. Let's go ahead and duplicate the player. And call this ship. And then I also want to duplicate the camera. Call this W camera. Big thing here is it's not following the player, it's following the ship. Honestly, I think I'm supposed to delete this. Oh no, that's for the creation code. That's good. As long as it's not a step code. Okay, cool. Alright, so W camera is going to follow the ship, not the player. And then I can throw that in here. It'll behave just like the camera. And then ship. Let's figure you out. The ship won't have any HP or upgrades, I don't think. Unless I want to... No. I think upgrades should be done with like a global variable so that they can be saved. Same thing with loot. There's a few things that need to be turned into globals. Yeah, upgrade, loot, bullet number, I just noticed I did this depth thing to the player. That was supposed to be done to the wall. I did it on the wrong one. Oops. So it was supposed to be plus. I had to change my code for this stuff, which is in the bullet. And I haven't done anything with the upgrade yet, but there's the loot. What draws the loot? It's the loot pickup. Right, so loot didn't even need to be in there. There we go. Okay, I think that's everything. Hope we don't get any errors. But now there's a global loot, there's a global bullet number, global upgrade. That way I can save these values, and the next time you load, you'll still have the same stuff you had before. And it's easier to call it from different ones without having to play. It shouldn't all be on the player, basically. Alright. So, this ship. Oh yes, that initialize thing. I'm gonna take it off of the different rooms because we don't want that to happen anymore. We shouldn't initialize more than once a game. Right now the initialize will be on the world map, but later on it'll be when you hit new game or load game, one of those two. Otherwise it's going to reset our loot and our upgrade every time. Okay. Right, back to the ship. I'm guessing, what should I do with the ship? I think I'm going to make a new sprite for the ship for now. And it needs to be, I think what I'm going to go with is 164 by 164. Oh, it's a beautiful ship. I think collision mask can be the whole thing, that's fine. We'll see. Make sure this is middle center. Okay. The whole state thing probably doesn't matter here because your ship can't really die. And I don't think it'll ever have drag. And it's not going to create this loot thing. So really we just need speed. This is fine. I don't think we need states. Alright, let me think about it. The ship just moves around the map and collides with certain areas. There's no reason to having it do anything else. I guess it would have a state, and the state is either go and not go. Alright, so I will throw the state in here. State equals move and stop. That way, if I need it to stop moving while I do some sort of animation, or you're in port or whatever, I can just turn it to stop and it won't be able to move. Okay, this is fine, and we can use walls as like the shore so you can't move. So I can still use this code. Only thing is, there's not going to be any bullets. We can get rid of that. I'm just going to key it out for now. We might use the spacebar for something later. I think that's really it. Okay. So we'll ship in here. Hit play. See if I screwed anything up. Okay, we're now a ship. We're not displaying our loot right now. So I'll need to do that. And then I need to make sure we're not able to go off the screen. But the screen's going to have walls around it anyway, so let's just set that up. Okay, the hitbox is really wrong with this, and I wonder why that is. It should be the whole thing, right? Automatic rectangle, that's the whole thing. I'm a little confused by that. Because if we ever collide with the wall, and the wall should be the full size, using this temp enemy thing, they should never be able to run into each other like that. Oh, it's Y plus speed. Maybe that's why. I don't know. This doesn't make any sense to me. Why can I go into it that much? Does seem to be about 10 pixels. It should stop like right here. Is the collision point really just based off of... Oh, it shouldn't be. I'm confused by that. Oh, maybe this is why. Try setting these to 0. I'm not quite sure about what these do. I think they're supposed to mean you're not allowed to collide with yourself or something like that. In those certain circumstances. Let's just see what this does. If I change them. Doesn't do anything to that. If this does nothing, I'll set it all back to 1 again. It does nothing. Man, I really thought collision point would work here. Oh, I see. It's X minus speed. If I want it to work with the size that I've got, then I've got to add the size that I've got to it. Maybe collision point isn't the right thing to be using. I think it is point collision. Whatever happened to that? Wasn't there a point collision? I swear there was. Is that gone now? Sprite collision mask. Nah. I think there's another way to do this, and I just can't remember what the function is. Basically, this looks ahead the distance you're going to be moving, and it's going to check to see if there's a wall there. And if there isn't, then it'll allow you to move ahead. If there is, then it'll stop you from moving. That's how this is supposed to work. But because it's based off of, I think why it's going wrong is because it's based off of our current X, while I want it to be based off of our current mask. So I could cheat that by just doing the minus half the mask or whatever. But I really thought it would check to see if we're going to collide. Like there's a way to check to see if you're going to collide with something. So it's not just based off of a point. Let's check all my code and see if there's something that'll help. I didn't write anything down for it. I might have to go into another game and check the collision stuff there and see if there's the one that I'm looking for. Because I definitely use it as part of my code for colliding with the floor. There's no way it's based off of the origin point. Alright, let's go check. Place meeting. That's what I was looking for. Alright, it's place meeting. So, if not place meeting. Yeah, okay, this is the one that I wanted. Same thing, just instead of collision point, we'll want to do place meeting. In fact, I should just do this. So place meeting should be based off of the mask. What happened there? I just copied the whole line, I think. Somehow. Okay, place meeting. No, I'm gonna have to do that for the other one, but first let's just test this. I think it'll work the exact same way, only it uses the whole thing instead. Malformed statement. Place meeting got some extra stuff in it. Oh, it doesn't have these ones. That's probably why I couldn't think about what those do. Try again. There we go. All right, it's not going to bring me directly up to it unless I do some extra code. I forgot about that. To bring me to it. But man, I don't remember how to do that either. Because with the way it's set up right now, I can't get directly next to a wall. Which doesn't matter too much, but I would like to butt right up to it. You gotta do like a... I remember, it does like a thing to bring you right up against the wall. I'll have to check on that. I remember, I kind of remember how it happens. It's like, if the place meeting is true, then it's going to run through a code to bring you right up against to it. But I can't remember how to do it exactly. It's one of those like when statements. Yeah, that's right. That's why this would be an else. Right. So if place meeting the wall, then you want to say some other code like it'll bring you directly up to it that I don't remember how to do. Okay, I'm just gonna do this for now. Honestly, I don't even think I have to do it to the other one. But I will have to do it to this one later when I go and look up how to do it again, because I can't remember that one. But this code will still work as it is. Like this, it should. It's just not gonna bring us directly up against the wall. You see we're like a couple pixels off of it, because that's like within the 10 pixels of speed. So if I want it to go right up against the wall, I'm gonna have to add some extra stuff. I just don't remember how. Alright, but otherwise this is still working. Okay, so what else do I need to do? I mean, that's basically how the world map works. Now we just need to set up like the different areas. I don't know how to do that. Do I want to like draw that in boxes? I could do that. Might be the easiest way to do that. So that depending on what type of area you're on, will affect what kind of zone you go into. And I could do that by just doing different boxes to represent it. I wonder if that's the easiest way. Because like at the end of the day, all these like boxes and stuff, these are just like scaffolding. The actual map is going to be put on top of it. It's just what's underneath it is what you're actually interacting with. Without doing like some sort of tiling thing, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to do any tiling stuff. So I'll probably make things just like these walls were made, only they'll represent different types of locations. This wall has no code, right? It has creation code, depth. I guess I should just duplicate this for the different areas. Of course, these will be different colors later. I don't know if I want to do it this way or not. It just seems like the easiest way to do it. If I made like, yeah, I just paint in the shallows where they're supposed to go, and then the sea where it's supposed to be, and then just depending on where the boat is or what it's sitting on top of is what zone you get taken into. Just seems like the easiest way to do it. And I think that's how I'm going to do this. I'll probably think of something else later, but it just seems kind of silly, but I guess it would work. And this way I can change the map. I could do, no, I don't want to do anything like that. I don't know. I'm not too sure if what I'm doing is correct. It'll be easy enough to delete later if I change my mind. For now, we're just going to go this way, because it's just what I'm thinking. Meteor landing is going to be one that's a little different, probably. Well, I guess we will need one though, so that the idea is you don't know where the meteor is until you have something that lets you detect it. But it'll probably behave as deep sea until you have that detector, and then it'll be a meteor landing. But we'll go ahead and make it. Is that all of them? Corals, deep sea, meteor, oil, sea, shallow. Shipwreckage. Okay. So yeah, I think what I'll end up doing, I'll make different color boxes, but I'll just draw in the map using these, and then we'll paste another permanent map on top of it. But this will be the background thing that'll determine what kind of zone you're going into. So let's just do a little test thing right here by doing this with this is shallows, right? Yeah, shallows, and then we'll do deep sea. I think I just rotated that. This way I'll be able to test the idea. If I go ahead and play now, all this should be behind the player. Yeah. So the idea is, because right now I'm in the shallows, technically I'm above the shallows. If I was to trigger, like, think of it like an RPG, I trigger a battle, I would go into a shallow map, or a map of the shallows, do some fighting in there for a little while, and then it comes back out to what this map is. I'll have to do something where I save the location too, so you come back out at the same spot. And then same kind of deal, if I go into the deep water, then it'll choose to go into a deep water zone. I think that's the simplest way to do this. Okay, let's try going into a zone then. We'll use space to do it. Okay, so here we do want to use collision point, I think. X, Y, O, shallow. Remember how to change rooms. Is it go to? Room go to. Like there's a better way to do room go to, and I just don't remember it either. Can I just type? I don't remember if this will work or not. But it would make it easier if it does work. Let's just see if that works. Okay. Thing worked up until the go-to part. So I guess that doesn't work. I guess it's got to be a number. I really feel like it doesn't have to be a number. Because I remember not using numbers for my other game. Honestly, I feel like that should have worked. This right here. Maybe I'm just not using the right code. Let me look at the error code again, because I feel like that should actually work. Alright, room go to argument incorrect type string. Okay, so I guess it doesn't allow the string. I really feel like it used to though. So now I'm really confused. Like I could put in the number, but then again I don't even know what number this is because the way it sets it up now in ABC order. So this should be number 4. But if I do it like that, if I move things around at any point, it's going to mess the code up. So that's why I really feel like that's not how it used to work. All right, let me make some notes here. And change rooms. I'm going to go into my other game and figure out what code and stuff I used for that stuff because I feel like this is not right. Could be just because I'm using, I don't know. I thought this would work. But I think the idea is still right for how it works. It means there is going to be one more map location that I forgot about, and that's a port area. Let's go ahead and do it. There we go. So we're going to put like a port somewhere where it'll open the shop, like up at the top corner. That's where you'll start the game. Leave from port and go to whatever area and go back to port. So what I think I'm going to do is, if you ever press spacebar, depending on where you're at, you'll just go into a zone there. Otherwise, there's like a chance you'll get drug into a zone against your will, like, I don't know, a timer or something if you don't pick a zone. If you're on the map for too long moving around, you'll get drugged into zones sometimes. I think that's how I'm going to do it. So you can choose a zone you can go into, or you'll get pulled into one. Okay. So I did these two, kind of, I don't know. This is still a work in progress. Make a death state. I really want this to be done first. Anyway, how long have I been streaming? An hour? Ah, fuck it. Let's go ahead and just save and go look at that stuff. Keep going back and forth between these games. Because I don't ever remember how this stuff was done. Which means I should really write this stuff down and put it in the useful coding tools. This is the thing that puts you against a wall. It's a lot of effort to go through for something that doesn't matter too much. It might not matter at all. Because you're always going to be within the 10 pixels of the wall anyway. And when it's like, it looks weird if a creature is floating above the floor, but for a ship being a little bit off of the shore, you know, it doesn't matter as much. I don't think I actually need to bother with any of this, because there's a lot of extra code to add in for no real benefit. But this is the Y thing, while place meeting and Y plus place meeting, and then it basically it's gonna move you a little bit at a time, just one at a time, until you're up against the wall, and then it'll stop. It's unnecessary. Alright, let's look at the transitions that I had before. Room go to target. I think I set up the targets in the rooms themselves. So it's fine as long as it's a variable. There we go. Target is set to the room. And that room is based off of this. Okay. I wonder if I could just use that instead of going through the whole variable part. Let's see. What if I got rid of this? Yeah, now it's red. Would that actually just fix it? Yeah, it did. It just shouldn't be a string. Okay, so I just have to set up these locations now. One thing I want to do real quick. Honestly, I don't know what I'm doing using capitals. I shouldn't use capitals here. And I also shouldn't use capitals here, which is going to mess up what I just did. What's the rename button? 42? F2? It's just bad practice to do this because things are case sensitive. Just use all lowercase. Okay. Honestly, I should probably bleed these out with the room as well, but whatever. It's fine. There's only this many rooms anyway. Okay. So that should put the loot in the top corner now. Right. So I want like spawners for these different areas so that they're different each time. I wonder what I'm going to do with that. I don't know how much kind of like procedural generation I'm going to bother with. I think the area, like if you go into one shallows, the idea is how does it differ from every other shallow? Well, the way the enemies come can be different. Like sometimes you'll go in and you'll get just jellyfish, or you get salmon, or you get one or the other, or yeah. But as far as like what the background looks like, it'll probably always look the same, just to make it simpler. You only have to do like one background for each of these. The big ones that'll change will be like the corals, because the corals will be in different places. So I'll do random stuff for that, but everything else is basically just the same, and it's just what enemies spawn. What I need is like an enemy spawner for the area. This right here is the camera. I could use the camera to spawn enemies, but I don't think I'm gonna do that. No, I'd rather have an area with its own enemies. Okay, yeah, let's make enemy spawners for each area. Guess that'll work. And honestly, it just needs to choose to create certain things based off of the creation code, and that's really it. And where it places them doesn't really matter until we get to like corals, but because the fish themselves automatically go to a certain place when they're created, because that's how I set them up, right? I know that's how it is. Let me look at it again. Oh no, yeah, they're set to spawn, so yeah, they'll randomly go to a place right when they're created. That's fine. Yeah, all I gotta do is set up what spawns. What's the easiest way to do this? I think I can do like a variable. So like spawn equals choose alright, so let's just think the shallows. What shows up in the shallows? I put here jellyfish, turtle, crab, or salmon. So I can set up like different scenarios. That all get chosen randomly, so each zone you go into is going to be a little different. I would also like to base that off of what your current upgrade is. But all of that will be decided here. Like, I could randomly choose whether each of these enemies show up, but I'd rather choose like a situation. Because I think it might be fun if you get like an area that's just got turtles in it, or an area that's just crabs. And instead of it like randomly being one, I don't know. But I think, yeah, definitely if you've only got upgrade 1, you should only run into like salmon and jellyfish. Okay, so if global upgrade equal, or yeah, equals 0, and we'll do this stuff. Okay, so spawn will equal 0 or 1 if your upgrade's just 0. If your upgrade's 1, 2, or 3, then spawn can choose between you can still have 0 and 1, but you can also have 2, 3. Alright, let me think about what each of these are. So 0 is jelly, 1 is salmon, 2 is both, 3 is turtle, 4 is crab, 5 is all. I think that's a good mix. So there's 5 different areas you could have, but if your upgrade's still only 0, you're only going to get one of the first 2, so you're not going to be overwhelmed in the beginning of the game. And this is like, yeah, different scenarios you could find yourself in. I like that idea. So now, Spawn's going to choose one of these things. And now, just based off of what spawn is what happens. Yeah, I gotta figure out what depth this enemy's at. Enemies should be under the player, maybe? But still in front of. I think it's +1. So this doesn't matter. This should be depth +1. Oh, jellyfish. So that's going to create a jellyfish. And let's just do, in the shallow areas, maybe 2 or 3 jellyfish to start with. Should be fine. 2 full crabs. Cough. Alright. This will be the hardest map you could possibly roll. Okay, I guess that's one way to do it. You go in, it chooses something based off of what upgrade you have, and it spawns enemies in to represent what you've got. And then I think something I want to do is I want to set up an alarm. Would be way too short. These rooms, let's just say they last between 20 seconds. I guess 20 would be the shortest I want to go. What's 20 times 60? It's 120, right? It's 1,000, no, 1,200. So the shortest should be 1,200. The longest would probably be 3 times that, so 36. Let's try that to start with. Right, so after a certain amount of time in the room, you'll go back to the world map. I'll have to set up something to where the world map remembers where you were, which would be easy enough with some global variables. Yeah. Let's just do that. Where's initialize at? Starts at 200 and 200. And we go find ship. That's not right. Oh, I did it wrong over here. There we go. So it's going to save our X and Y coordinate when we go into the room. And then when we leave the room, oh, this thing, when it's created, X equals global ship X, Y equals global ship Y. So there we go. We're going to save our coordinates when we go into a room. And then when we come back into this room, it'll put the ship where it was before. And that should work. Alright, this is only going to work for the shallows at the moment. But let's test this. Right. So now we have our ship. Oh, it started at 200, 200, which put us in a wall. I'm afraid of that. Make sure we start 3, 3. Try it again. Alright, so ship starts here. We can move around, go into the zone, and now we're in this zone. And we got the jellyfish zone. Oh yeah, I never set these guys up to drop loot. I should do that. After a certain amount of time, it's going to kick us out. Oh, and I got to make sure we can't accidentally be spamming the space bar. We don't automatically go back into a zone, so there does need to be like a certain amount of time required before you can go back into a zone. Let's just give it a few seconds. So I did the bare minimum was 20, and the maximum was a full minute, if I did that right. Full minute's pretty long. Okay, let's assume it's not working. And to fix that, we just go to add, draw text. I think this will work. So this will tell me what alarm 0 is. There it is. We got almost the max right there. It seems to be working. But we didn't get a lower number. I should probably put lower numbers in just for testing. So we don't have to wait as long. But whatever. Let that run out. Guess it is pretty long. I feel like I went over this amount of time on my first test, though. Let's see if it actually kicks us out of this room once the timer goes all the way down. I mean, it should. Guess I just wasn't patient enough last time and I got a really high number. Did I do that right? I mean, 60... Oh, I know why it's going slow. It's because I'm capturing the screen right now, and that screws up GameMaker Studio's speed thing when it comes to testing the game. So it's not actually at 60 frames per second. It's probably at like 20. So yeah, we're going at like a quarter speed of what would actually be reality. That's why it's taking extra time. If I was to full screen this, or change the capture of OBS, it'll go faster. That's something that happened a while back. I don't know why, but ever since then, OBS and GameMaker Studio doesn't really work out that great. Alright, so it did kick us out, but it did not remember our location. So, what happened there? I know what happened. We reinitialized, and when we reinitialized, it changed us back to 300. Which won't be a problem in the final state of the game. I guess it's not a big problem. It'll definitely work. Yeah, the big problem is when we went back to the world map, we did the initialize again, which changed our ship X and Y back to 300. But yeah, that won't be a problem because when we normally hit new game is when it actually initializes, then it won't do this ever again until we start again. That's probably not an issue. I'm just gonna ignore it for now. It will mean that our ship will always return to that spot until I put the initialize somewhere else. Okay. So that seemed to work fine. Now I would just like to try the game where I get the salmon ending, because we haven't really seen that yet. We keep getting jellyfish. I want to make sure, I mean, it should definitely be able to choose one. Are we just getting, we keep rolling tails on the coin flip or what? Yeah, we keep getting jellyfish, but this should choose 0 or 1. Let's try it again. It's kind of strange that we haven't got the salmon route yet. Keep getting jellyfish. I don't know why. This should definitely work. Ooh, I don't see it. Plus. There we go. So it's 0. Yeah, it keeps rolling to 0. I mean, that's obvious so far, but now we can see that it's actually a 0. That's what the spawn right there is. Which is really strange. Should choose 0 or 1. Okay, well, let's just try this. Now we got 4. Okay, choose works, but I guess you need more than 2 options? I don't think that was ever a thing. You should be able to choose between 2. There we got 4. I'm honestly really confused why this isn't working. Let's just see if we can get the other numbers if we keep it like it is. No, we got 4 again. Oh, okay, now we're only getting 4s. There might be something that I'm remembering. Every time it creates a new one, it'll keep giving us the same result. Alright, I could try random. I think random doesn't work the way I want, though. I know random range gives you, like, decimal points. I don't remember the difference between, like, random and choose. Let's go look. I'm pretty sure I wrote that down. I wrote down like random stuff here. Random range, -3. So this is, yeah, between -3 and 3 with decimals. Random 20 picks between 0 and 1999. It doesn't actually pick 20. That's odd. iRandom will give you a number. Pick whole. So if I put the I in front of it, I'll get whole numbers. Okay, let's just do that then. But the problem is, I don't know if it'll actually pick 1. And I think it's more likely to pick 0. Because all the numbers, I don't know if it rounds up. I don't know, let's try this and see if it'll pick 1 and 0. I'm pretty sure the choose thing works, it's just not going to work unless I start the game. What happened? Malformed assignment statement. Ah. We want random range. Okay, we got 0 again. I think it's going to keep spitting out zeros. Yep. I really do think this would work if I was to keep going in and out of the room. It's just like the first time it chooses, it'll always pick the same thing. So I would have to go like in and out of the room a couple times to test it. Let's just try that real quick. That seems pretty easy than doing this random stuff. So to test that, I just choose smaller numbers here. There we go. Keep doing this till we get a 1, damn it. So we got 0 again, but the number's a lot lower. Now we got a 1. Okay. It does work. It's just the first... Yeah, I kind of remember that. At some point, yeah, the first number that Game Maker Studio will choose in the test environment will always be like the same result when you're using random stuff. But I think once you like make it into an executable, you'll get random stuff right from the beginning. Okay, well, we've shown that that will work. Okay. So now we have to do this for everything else. We don't have to do this anymore. I wonder if I want to just keep this in here for now, for testing purposes. I might as well. We're going to do that. Let's go ahead and change this to... Test that real quick. I think that'll work like I think it does. Yeah. So that'll be how long we're in the room, and the other one will be what instance we randomly rolled. Just for testing purposes, it'll be good to know. So I'll just keep that and then delete it later. Be fine. Alright. So that's working like I want. I'm just going to duplicate this for each other room. Coral will be the hardest one to do. We'll save that for later. Actually shouldn't have done that. Let's just skip over it. Deep sea. Deep sea spawner. Now I think deep sea will, it doesn't matter what upgrade you get, it'll probably always be the difficult stuff because deep sea is a more dangerous location. And if you go there when you're still noob, you'll regret it. So deep sea can have everything. I know deep sea's the only one that's got anglerfish because it's supposed to have the dark area at the bottom. I also need to set up something to where anglerfish can only show up at the bottom of the screen. I didn't do that. I forgot. Which shouldn't be too hard to do. I just make sure the random range of Y is not 100. It's something a lot lower. So what is the deep sea? Deep sea should be everything below C, which is, C goes down to 2160, so it should be everything below 2160. So what we just do here. And that's really it. That'll make it where they always spawn at the bottom of the map. Let's test that real quick. Luckily I have deep sea on this map, so I can just test that real quick. By going over there and going in it. So there shouldn't be any anglerfish at the top of the map. I have to go down here to actually see them. Oh, it's chasing me now. Great. Yeah, all the anglerfish are down here at the bottom. At the bottom of this map, it'll get darker and darker as you start going to the bottom part. And then that's where these little anglerfish show up. You'll be able to see them with your flashlight, or they'll light up once, once they go into attack mode, they'll light up and start chasing you around, because the flashlight should only be like in front of your character. I should probably do something to where they don't chase you if you go if you go too far up. They should stop chasing or something, but I can do that later. All I have to do is change them to be move if X is too high or something. Yeah, let's do that. Not X. If Y is less than, I'm not going to do 2160. Let's do like 1900. If Y is less than 1900, state equals move. Right, so if you ever go above, they'll stop chasing you. And then what I want to do here, the problem is, even if they're above this spot, if they're within 20 pixels of the player, or 200 pixels of the player, they'll still get changed back to attack again, which is going to end up in this weird spot. I need to make sure, like if they're above a certain spot, they'll just not go to the attack one. Which means adding another thing here. If y is greater than 1900. Right, so they'll only go into attack mode if they're greater than 1900. If they ever go above it, they'll just get swapped back to move. And you can kind of shake them off that way. Test that. Alright, so they should target me, and then once we go up a certain amount, they'll just stop. Regardless if you shoot them at them or whatever. Yeah, once we reach a certain spot, now they're just going to keep going off the screen again. So yeah, even if I get these guys chasing after me, all I got to do is go up a certain amount, and then they'll stop and leave you alone. And you can go shoot at them again. That's a good way to deal with them. You don't want to do it this way. You just drag them up a certain amount. I like that. That's a cool behavior. And it makes sense that they wouldn't go too high. They're supposed to be deep water fish. Okay. Deep sea spawner. So, what different ones are we going to have with this? This one has all of them. I don't know exactly how I'm going to do that. Maybe I'll make it to where, like the other one had different scenarios or situations. 5 different situations you could be in. But I think the deep sea one is really just, if you roll a number, is whether what type of enemy shows up there or not. As simple as that. So you can just get totally random stuff, including anglerfish. So I think I'm going to do it that way. So to do it that way, what I want to do is different. Doing all this again. So to do it this way, we're just going to say if use if it equals 1, then create this enemy. Like this. Now I do this for every type of enemy. We have jellyfish, salmon, anglerfish, crab, octopus, shark, stingray, turtle. I should probably do something to stop all my other fish from spawning down low, but I'm not going to do that now. Okay. So how many jellyfish do we want max? I think 2. How many salmon? Let's do 3. We'll do 2 octopus, I guess. And 2 manta ray. Or stingray. Alright, anglerfish, we're gonna throw like 3. But what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna say if it's greater than 0. So the odds of getting an anglerfish are 2 to 3. Or 2 out of 3. 2 to 1. Yeah, the odds are 2 to 1 to get an anglerfish. Or get a spawn of anglerfish. Okay. What else is there? There's crab. Let's just ever be 1 crab. Shark, probably just 1 shark. And turtle. Probably just 1 turtle. Okay, so we'll random. Most of these are just a 50-50 for now. Anglerfish are just a little more likely to happen in the deep sea. And I like that. I think that's fine. So let's test that. Only thing is the spawn. You don't want that. Okay, so we should just get like a random assortment of enemies when we go in here. Oh, I didn't consider, you can, it is possible to get nothing too. The anglerfish came in. I guess I did roll a 0 on absolutely everything else, didn't I? Because that's what's going to happen. Also, I'm noticing we didn't actually see the alarm, even though it should be drawn in here. It should be halfway down, but I don't even see it. And I know why. Because I never put it in here. Yeah, we're seeing the anglerfish that I dropped in before, but I never put the spawner in this room. Alright, let's try that again. Yeah, I'm afraid it's just going to give us all 0s. We won't actually see anything. Oh, there's a shark. Oh, there's octopuses. Octopi. Oh, there's the turtle. Quick, loot it. I would have got hit right there. Oh. Yeah, this timer seems really long right now. But it's running at like quarter speed. I just want to see it kick us out real quick. And everything will be considered good. Yep. Okay. All that's working fine. Go on to the next one. I'm not going to do meteor landing. And do everything else. What's in the oil spill? Anglerfish? That's basically it, yeah. This is a place where you're like guaranteed to get anglerfish, and I don't even think it needs to have like a spawn. It's just, yeah, if you're here you get anglerfish. And they'll show up at any point, which means I need a different type of anglerfish for an oil spill. Maybe I should just do an anglerfish, but name it oilfish. That's something different. It might even look different. Let's do that. Then we don't have to change the code. Create a new enemy called oilfish. I have 6 of them randomly put in the map. Sure. I like that idea. Let's duplicate this guy. It's basically an anglerfish with just a different behavior. Where we take out the this restriction. Change it back to 100. Everything else is the same, except for this. And this. So these guys are chase you anywhere in this map, but it's a smaller map. The idea is the oil spill area is just always dark, unlike the deep sea area. So everywhere, yeah, everywhere is dangerous. Lots of these fish. I think that's it. That should give them the correct behavior too. Okay. Let's go ahead and open this area. Throw one in there. Of course, we won't be able to test these next ones unless we make a spot on the map. But I'm gonna assume it's all good. Alright, let's see. Sea can have jellyfish, octopus, salmon, stingrays, crab, sharks, turtle. Okay, let me figure all that out. How do I want to have that happen? Is it just randomly those things, or are there certain areas that are just jellyfish and octopus and the other ones are salmon and stingrays? Okay, I think I know how to do this. Instead, what we'll do okay, we're gonna do it this way. Spawn will equal one of these numbers, and then we just say if global upgrade is greater than 0, spawn the other stuff. Okay, I'm gonna do something different. Instead of, there won't be any turtle spots or crab spots by themselves. What I'll do instead is there'll just be like a ton of jellyfish. Or a ton of salmon. 3 and 4. And then this last one's just going to be a whole bunch of everything. Why are these giving me warnings and nothing else is? Happening here too. Why is that happening? I wish you would explain it. Happening here too. Did I do something wrong? Oh, I did upgrade. That would be why. And I'd copied it many times. Really hate this thing. There we go. Okay. So yeah, it can be a random thing. And if you've got a higher tier of upgrade, you can get the octopus and the stingray spawning. I think what I'll do is I'll add a crab into both of these. If you have the upgrade as well. Because what the crab does is makes it more dangerous to grab your loot. Because it's kind of like guarding the seabed. I'll just throw them in there to make those areas a little harder. Alright, that should be it with that. And I gotta remember to throw it in here. Alright, what's next? Corals and ship wreckage, right? Well, corals doesn't really need one. It's just gonna have crabs and the different eels, which I have to figure out how that works. So I think the corals, what I do is I just drop a crab in there because there's always going to be a crab no matter what your upgrade is. So that's just easier. And ship wreckage is just always going to have Sharks. Probably 2 of them. Regardless of what your upgrade is. Maybe even 3 to make the shipwreck harder to explore. There's so many sharks. I don't know, there might be too many, but that I won't need a spawner for those. But I do need the spawner just to kick us out of it after a little while, so I guess I will need a spawner. But it's just going to be a basic one. Okay. At least for the shipwreck. So, none of this stuff. Yeah, just a thing that kicks us out after a while. And of course, yeah, the coral one. I'll have to figure that out a little later. Because the corals have to create these walls at random spots and at random heights, which is a little more difficult. And I'm not going to worry about that just yet until I do artwork. I think a lot of the coral stuff, like the eels and yeah, the coral themselves, is going to be based on the artwork for it. I'll probably have different coral just drawn, and it's just like what coral gets placed is randomly which drawing it grabs. That makes sense. So then, yeah, they'll be at certain spots along the bottom, and sometimes it'll roll a 1 or 2 or 3, and that'll be what coral gets put there. So each area looks a little different, but it's really very similar. So there's a little bit of procedural generation without anything too crazy. What I will do, I'll just go ahead and duplicate this. So we have a thing, a timer for it. Alright, so every room has its own spawner, different enemies. Eventually we'll have that stuff on the map. It's not really a big thing right now. So now that I did all that, I'll be able to figure out how to do the death state. The death state will just throw you back out into the world map. Probably throw you back in the port. And take all your stuff away from you. But I'm going to stop here. I think we made some good progress. That's it. Later.